Hi, it's story time. I'm not all that interesting, but I've known interesting people. My tone throughout this is going to be very flat, right? I wrote all this out, then I got depressed. I'm actually feeling a little bit better now. So you're going to hear me speak like Eeyore some more. I mean, not too much, I guess, because I'm feeling a little bit better, but. And it'll be somewhat comedic because I'm saying certain things and the tone doesn't match up at all. It's also all jumbled up, and I don't want to sit here fixing it. I don't want to. I really don't. Yeah. My ex's girlfriend, my ex girlfriend's mom would toss trash in the sink, and I would go and pick it all out and wash those dishes. She'd be yelling at her boyfriend one minute, like she wanted to kill him, banging his brains out the next. That was basically what my relationship with my ex was a lot of the time too. So having this other friend of hers over, and they hang out in there. I guess she's bi-curious. I'm speaking of her mother. Um, and her boyfriend. He's really big, really fat, the biggest loser you could possibly imagine. There's always a bigger loser, you know. Mom would talk to my ex like she was her therapist all the time. My ex's dad used to be a drug dealer when she was real little, because they couldn't afford shit because she wasn't planned. Horny teenagers, you know how it is. They were like 17. Now they're in their late 30s, early 40s ish. Just as and they're split up and whatever, and he has his own thing, and I'll get into that too. Just as easily could have ended up with a repeat there. I mean, like, I'm the luckiest person ever for not getting her pregnant, because like it makes no sense. Divine intervention over that, I guess. Not over much of anything else, but I guess over that. Maybe one of us is infertile. I'm not going to get too graphic there, but I didn't like care at all, right? I didn't care about anything. I still don't care about anything. She didn't really either, but I really, really didn't. I guess this is the part where I mention I coerced her into stuff. There's a little quirky confession. I felt bad about it. I did. I felt really, really bad about it. But it doesn't really matter how I felt. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Look at me admitting shit no one else has the balls to. I was very mentally ill and I was borderline rapey. You know? There you go. Oh, and my ex's brother and sister came into this world a couple years after her, and she shielded him from all that drug stuff somewhat. So they make more excuses for mommy and daddy inside against her. You know, there are commendable things all around, right? There are plenty of positives, plenty of upsides, right? Her dad was moderately high up in rank. I mentioned that, right? Yeah. Used to be a drug dealer, whatever. Moderately high up in rank. Years and years ago, right? At some point, he'd be making some calls to this Colombian guy who'd import the stuff in, right? Just weed mostly, supposedly, probably some other stuff on occasion. You know how it is. Probably just like primarily weed, or I think like it might have also been the case like when he was like starting out more so that it was like more varied, but he kind of just like stuck with that. Something like that. Like I highly doubt that it was just marijuana all the way through. Come on. Like that he'll admit or whatever, you know what I mean? But his pals did plenty of dealing of other stuff though. She got offered to try meth once. My ex got offered to try meth once when she was, among other things too, when she was like 13 or 15 or something, and declined. Might have been offered multiple times, probably was. Was offered other stuff, right, and whatever. She did accept trying a bunch of other stuff though. She also, she was drinking and stuff like that around that time, and I don't know, for like a few years there or whatever. Anyways, she would stay in the car while the dealings went down. It was kind of a family venture, but her siblings don't remember it because they were too young. Now he's been an electrician for a good few years since, making pretty good money apparently. She says it's like $50 an hour. Whoa. She got molested when she was below the age of 10 by, I think it was a distant family member. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm really just saying this like it's nothing. All this. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Everything feels like nothing. So, anyways, so she said, and I believe her because she's a terrible liar, and it all adds up. So, didn't find out about that and the dissociative identity disorder stuff until much later, the very end, after everything else had already taken place. Kept secrets from me the entire time. Mutual. A lot of it's mutual, right? But she's pretty and has friends she's known for years. They stick with her. And she can go back. Yeah, they're great people too, right? And she can go back to drinking and smoking stuff with them. Can go and fuck whoever she wants, get pregnant, mooch off of them, just like mommy. So it all balances out, I guess, right? There's an upside to everything. Misfortunes and fortunes, unlucky and lucky, yin and yang. You know. Besides companionship and pussy, she helped me out with my online school stuffs very early on. A couple other things too. So I technically graduated high school because of her. I tried to sign her up for things like that and driver's license things and whatever, but even then it's like, it's logistics, impeding things. And also you could very much so tell she wanted no part in it, really. Always tried motivating her. She tried motivating me. I did a lot. She did a lot, she stole things from me, did a lot of bad things. I would always forgive her because she would always forgive me. I don't remember a lot, and she doesn't remember a lot. Mental stuff will do that. Made me cry and cry and cry, and I did the same to her, taunted me with a man's dick in her mouth, whatever. Crying and screaming really loud, ego death, going into shock, begging for her to, I don't know, to speak to me one last time. I don't know, just like thinking it's like some... thinking like it's like a movie, like some really, really cool and quirky, like revenge or whatever the fuck for what? I don't, yeah. A lot of pain, never felt more pain, like I was on fire being boiled. That's what it felt like. I met her dad once, shook his hand out on the lawn, by far the most sane one there. A real piece of shit, sure, but he was sane. He has this replacement wife, right, that he's been with for a good few years now or whatever. Right, along with the electrician stuff, right? Has this Elon Musk hobby of having a new baby with her every year. I think maybe on occasion it's been like 2 in 1 year or something like that, or maybe like 8-9 months or whatever. Just one after, right? Just it takes 9 months for a fucking baby to come out. Just from one to the next, one after another. So her got to be looking like really. How the fuck, how exactly does that even work? Like, just, logistically, right? Not an exaggeration. All they do together is have sex, it seems. Meanwhile, my dad's worst offense is not really anything. Actually, I just don't ever talk to him. My bad. I should call him on the phone. I should. Why don't I? I don't want to. My dad came into town this one time. This is a fantastic segue, isn't it? My dad came into town this one time, and he drove us to a couple of places, went on a date. That and a couple of other similar occasions were awkward, but real highlights. Also, this like aquarium place or whatever, too. And, to tell you the truth, I wish nothing more than to be able to pull us out of all of that. A lot of the problems were her problems, not mine, but I made them mine. I tried. I really fucking loved her, and I still think about her every day, reminiscing over those moments. It's one of the only things that makes me feel a little less shitty. So that's all I have to say about that. I was really, really sad while writing out these last few things here, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Goodbye.